Good evening, welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Swati Kundra. Here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Wednesday, the 21st of October. India and Russia agree to strengthen bilateral cooperation. Afghanistan likely to dominate Sharif-Obama talks on Thursday. And Indian e-tailers eye big business ahead of festival season. And now for all the details, India has invited Russia to invest more in India. Foreign Minister Sushma Swaraj on a visit to Moscow said that India and Russia were natural partners.
Indian Foreign Minister Sushma Swaraj met with Russia's Deputy Prime Minister Dmitry Rogozin and discussed the scope of increasing bilateral partnership in sectors such as nuclear energy, defense and space. Asserting that Russia can be India's biggest partner in development, she said the two countries are working towards achieving the trade target.
They set ambitious but realizable targets of $30 billion in bilateral trade by the year 2025, as well as $15 billion in mutual direct investments by that time. We have already begun to put in place an institutional framework to achieve these targets.
Swaraj, who also met her Russian counterpart Sergei Lavrov, discussed about a joint venture to manufacture almost 200 Kamov 226T helicopters in India, which will give a big boost to government's flagship program of Make in India. She also requested Moscow's cooperation in declassification of files on Indian freedom fighter Subhash Chandra Bose. The legendary leader had mysteriously disappeared in 1945. Indian government had last week announced that it will declassify documents relating to Bose in January on the occasion of his birthday.
We just asked whether there is any information in Russia which could be shared with us. Foreign Minister said he would see whether there was any information available in Russia on this particular matter.
Swaraj, who was in Russia, had also meetings with industry ministers from BRICS countries.
Pakistan Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif, who is in Washington, D.C., spoke about India-Pakistan relationship, which he said was mired in disputes. He will also hold talks with the top leadership in US on issues including Afghanistan. A report.
Pakistan Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif, who arrived in Washington for a 3-day visit, interacted with the Pakistani-American community there. He said that Pakistan was determined to resolve the Kashmir issue and said New Delhi's response to Islamabad's desire for better bilateral ties has been discouraging. Calling for more investments, Prime Minister Sharif said country's economy has shown signs of improvement. During his stay in Washington, D.C., he will hold discussions with President Barack Obama, Vice President Joe Biden and various cabinet members on Thursday. The ongoing situation in neighboring Afghanistan is expected to dominate the talks between Prime Minister Sharif and President Obama. US is expected to ask Pakistan to end providing sanctuaries for the Taliban and other terrorists inside the country. Washington, which acknowledged the role of Islamabad in the peace talks between the Taliban and the Afghan government, is also expected to push for the resumption of the stalled negotiations. Even though nuclear cooperation will feature in the talks between the two leaders, Pakistan has already clarified that the much-talked-about civil nuclear agreement will not be signed during Sharif's visit.
Pakistan's Supreme Court has lifted a ban on Jamaat-ud-Dawa, headed by dreaded terrorist leader Hafiz Saeed. This comes even as the organization, which has been identified as the front of terror outfit Lashkar-e-Taiba, continues to be a globally banned organization.
The Supreme Court, in an order last week, upheld the government's ban on 63 organizations, while 3 others were allowed to resume operations. Those who escaped the ban include the JUD, Al-Qadar Trust and Al-Rashid Trust, which were earlier barred from functioning for terror links. The JUD, which runs a network of seminaries across the country, is the charity face of the Lashkar-e-Taiba or LET. JUD, which collects large amount of donations from within and outside Pakistan, is believed to be using the money to fund its terror activities in neighbouring India. The LET and its founder Hafiz Saeed is accused of carrying out the 2008 terror attack in Mumbai, which killed 166 people, including 6 Americans. Even though the two organizations are globally banned and Saeed has been listed as a globally designated terrorist, his operations continue unhindered in Pakistan. Despite mounting evidence, Pakistan government had for years refused to put any restrictions on the operations of the outfits.
Power-starved Pakistan is building a series of hydroelectric projects in the Kashmir region to meet its energy needs. However, people here say that they are not gaining anything from the mammoth projects.
As the construction of the Neelam Jhelum Dam is progressing, locals have complained that they are experiencing an acute shortage of water in the region. They say that the groundwater levels in this region has fallen dramatically, resulting in drinking water shortage. The people in the Pakistan-administered region say they have no water for irrigation.
अब नीलम झेलम है 55 किलोमीटर लंबी है ये टनल है इसके नीचे इर्द गिर्द जो लोग हैं उनका पानी खत्म हो गया हमारे साथ मुआहदा कोई नहीं कर रहा तुम्हें क्या मिलेगा यार
When Pakistan had proposed the construction of the dam, the administration promised free power and adequate compensation to the local people. But while the dam has come up, the locals got nothing. Most of the power generated from the 969 megawatt Neelam Jhelum project is diverted to other provinces like Punjab and Sindh. Kashmiri leaders say they are not even allowed to collect drinking water from Mangla Dam, another major hydroelectric project in the area.
चीफ मिनिस्टर लिखते हैं कि मीरपुर के लोगों को पीने का पानी नहीं मिलेगा मंगला डैम से वो चिट्ठी लिखते हैं ये इस साल को यदि हम पीने का पानी भी नहीं ले सकते यदि मैं पीने का पानी भी नहीं पी सकता मेरे मुंह के आगे वो पानी मेरे मां बाप की कब्रें उस पानी के नीचे है मेरी जमीनें उसके नीचे मेरे घर उसके नीचे चले गए मेरी बचपन की यादें उस पानी के नीचे चली गई लेकिन यह कि मैं पीने का पानी भी नहीं ले सकता उधर से इससे बड़ी ज्यादती क्या हो सकती है
Despite producing surplus energy, Pakistan-administered Kashmir witnesses power outages of 18 to 20 hours on a daily basis, pushing the region into darkness.
Afghan security forces on Wednesday fended off a Taliban attack on western Herat province. Officials have said the incident happened in Ghorian when around 200 militants launched an offensive on security forces late on Tuesday. At least 15 militants and 3 security personnel were killed in the fire exchange. This is the second such attack in the province this week. This comes weeks after the insurgents briefly captured northern Kunduz. Shoppers are preparing for the lead-up to the Diwali festivities in India. And since an increasing amount of purchases are made online in the country, the festive season brings pressure on e-commerce sites to deliver.
It's about 3 weeks to the festival of lights, Diwali, and the festive shopping has begun in India. While there is a rush to traditional brick and mortar stores, it's getting very busy online as well. Aman Khetrapal is exactly the kind of customer that e-giants like Flipkart, Snapdeal and Amazon are chasing.
They offer huge discounts, they offer cashbacks through various debit cards and credit cards, and their shipping delivery is quick, so you don't have to go anywhere. And in fact, everyone in the family has ordered something or the other during these Diwali offers.
According to PwC, Indian e-retailers have made losses of almost $160 million in the third quarter of 2014. That's the reason why the festive season is so crucial. Industry experts believe the online shopping bonanza could help in turning the tide. Companies are doing all they can to keep the clicks coming.
New user interface which is very intuitive and easy for the consumer to use. The second is in terms of our seller infrastructure. We've worked with our sellers to plan for the Diwali sale, demand and plan for inventory accordingly. We've also equipped them with technology in terms of a refresh panel for them to keep track of their orders, and just figure out how they can cater to the demand. Okay. I think the third is in terms of our entire supply chain logistics.
And the heat is on. Flipkart is looking at a $5 billion US listing, taking its valuation to over $30 billion. Snapdeal is also planning on tapping the IPO gravy train. And so, rather than go up in smoke, this is their chance to shine.
In India, celebrations continue as the Navratri festival or Festival of 9 Nights reaches its peak. The colourful atmosphere is visible throughout the country.
Rings of dancers swirl with enthusiasm as revelers celebrate the ongoing Hindu festival of Navratri with religious zeal. Amidst the sparkling lights under the night sky, revelers perform the dance known as Garba in honor of Goddess Durga. During the festival of 9 nights, Goddess Durga is worshipped in her various incarnations.
3 महीने से हर रोज प्रैक्टिस करते हैं और ये हमारा एक शौक है, साथ में ये माता जी का एक महत्व है.
In southern India, the occasion is marked in a unique way with Festival of Dolls. Devotees pay respects to Goddess Durga as they decorate their houses with small mud dolls or figurines of the deity. The Navratri festival culminates on the 10th day, known as the Shera, which marks the victory of good over evil. On this day, idols of Goddess Durga are taken out for procession on the streets before immersing in the river.
Even though the transgenders have been officially recognized as a third gender in India, there was always a stigma attached to the community. But in what is seen as a sign of their growing acceptance during the festival of Durga Puja, Eastern West Bengal has installed a first-of-its-kind idol depicting the deity as transgender.
This is a historic first. A half-man, half-woman idol of the Hindu goddess Durga being worshipped by devotees in the eastern Indian city of Kolkata during the ongoing Durga Puja festival. Typically, the goddess Durga is depicted as a woman. But now India's transgender community says it's time they reclaim their space after years of being excluded from these festivities.
The element is really that of transgender women who have traditionally been excluded from these big community pujo events and sort of organizing around it, for them to stake a claim to be able to organize their own pujo. More than the religious aspect of it, there is a whole social dimension to this effort, and I think that needs to be recognized.
This idol itself is a composite androgynous form of the Hindu god Shiva and his wife, the goddess Parvati. It has been created by Chinnapal, who also happens to be the only woman artist in North Kolkata's traditional potters colony.
এরকম মানুষ যে আমি সব মানুষকে সমান চোখে দেখি, তা ওনাদের ঠাকুর করার সঙ্গে তো আমার না করার কোনো নিষেধ, কারণ কেউ করলে আমি মানবো কেন? হ্যাঁ, আমরা যে সমাজে বাস করছি এখন কোনো বাধা নিষেধ না কিছু, মানে ওনারা যে আমাদের মধ্যে এসে কাজ করতে পারছি ওনাদের, বা ওনাদের এত সহযোগিতা পেয়েছি বা ভালো কথাবার্তা, আমি তো ওদের মধ্যে কোনো আলাদা কিছু পাইনি, বরঞ্চ আমাদের থেকেও ওনারা মানে আমাদের সঙ্গে ভালো ব্যবহার করেছে।
There are an estimated 500,000 transgender people living in India. And despite the country's highest court recognizing them as a third gender last year, they still face discrimination and marginalization at many levels. Campaigners say they often live in poverty, with many singing and dancing at weddings to make a living.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude, the top stories once again. India and Russia agree to strengthen bilateral cooperation. Afghanistan likely to dominate Sharif-Obama talks on Thursday. And Indian e-tailers eye big business ahead of festival season. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsianNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/AsAsianNewsline and follow us on Twitter @AsAsianNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Good night.